Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail with another Scrolls Ranked Replay, where today we're going to be seeing some Decay on the Ranked Play, as we have Blinky, who's actually not going to be playing Decay, although he's popularized some Decay decks lately, versus SleeperCZ, who's going to be playing a primarily Decay triple resource deck. You may know what I'm talking about, but let's go ahead and get started, even. So there we go with the good luck and the pleasantries, is Blinky going with a standard monogrowth deck from the looks of it. God, Hand, and Quake, not necessarily great early cards. So get rid of the God Hand first, just to not have it. SleeperCZ, on the other hand, starting off with Decay, as you can see from his nice hat. Blinky getting 2 Quakes. Don't really need to. Don't even know sometimes if you want to use 1 Quake against Decay. It just depends. So there's the Sister of the Fox for Blinky. Sleeper, on the other hand, just working up his Decay slowly but surely. The Viscera Sage comes out. That's going to be, if it can kill the Sister, it's going to get some extra cards here. Blinky with a Rat King as well if he elects to use it. But at this point, not too much to do other than just sack for cards, get the Kingfolk Veterans. He gets rid of a Mangy, and actually Sleeper playing the Harvester out front is kind of an immediate wall here, which means it is susceptible to getting double veteraned if Blinky is so inclined. But if he does not do anything to protect the Sister, it is going to die next turn, and he's going to get a card. So at this rate, it's just a matter of, what does he want to do? Does he want to protect the Sister and at least do 1 damage? Sure, he is going to be losing a card to Sleeper anyway from the Viscera Sage. So, hey, bonus card for Sleeper. That's good. The countdown for this is 5 now. The Illmire Hunter is on the board as well. And right now the Illmire Hunter, not really the most threatening card because its Slayer ability would just not be so useful against this. But if Blinky plays bigger creatures, it is something he's going to have to deal with. Also, Illmire Hunter, very nice 5 health wall for this Harvester as well, and we're protecting against the double veteraning that I was discussing before. So Sleeper, what do you got? Just 4 cards, sacking for more resources, getting up to 5 Decay, moving his units around as he gets a second Harvester on the board, and a Loyal Darkling as well. So right now, Growth, which is supposed to be the good deck for creature spamming, is getting outspammed by Sleeper's creatures. Harvester is especially good against things like Beast Rats if you can kill them all at once. But Blinky getting a bunch of small creatures here, and he could set up a really nice Crimson Bull if he's able to here. So all you got to do, that's going to be 1 Harvester down. Actually, it's going to be both Harvesters down. So those little rats, they pack a big punch when you buff them just like that. So Sleeper going from having not a lot on the board, or having a lot on the board, to nothing at all. And that's what I was saying before. Growth is great about getting little creatures out, and things like Crimson Bull and hasted units can really flip the game in a hurry. That's 2 Harvesters. That was a bunch of health that Blinky was just able to take out like that. But with these cards killing, he's going to get another card. There's Brain Lice, an extra card for Sleeper. So he's not really behind, even if it is a pisser to lose the first ones. Additional Rat King for Blinky, though. He's going straight away for the multi-rat prospect here. If Sleeper has a Mire Curse or something, that'd be especially fun. But I don't think he's running that. However, Soul Steal does flip a unit from one area to the other. It is 3 resources, but it is a good denial card for low health units. Languid on the Kinfolk Veteran is also a good touch here, as Sleeper's just going to tuck his units up to the top, concede the middle position of the board right now, and hope that Blinky doesn't have too much to put down. Because Decay, at least from what I'm seeing so far, not as much of an early game deck as Growth for sure, but I don't think anything is, when you can get those early Crimson Bull plays early with those just tiny units. But right now, at least, Sleeper looks like he's starting to tuck his way towards the mid-game, and Blinky just giving away units that'll be giving cards for this Viscera Sage. I've never seen a Viscera Sage be so effective so early. But that's what the Beast Rats are for. They're there to be big and scary. So there's an Illmire Rod Eater, and a Blight Bearer as well by Sleeper. So he's going to be trying to do some denial play on these top areas here. If Blinky really wants to kill this Illmire Hunter, that's fine, but he'll have to deal with a 4/4 Rod Eater. And there is a good old-fashioned Tome as well. That's just going to buff everybody, give everybody a good time here. He is, in fact, going to go ahead and take the extra Illmire Hunter damage here, or take the extra buff for the Rod Eater, because it's going to be 4/2 now. 4/2 is a lot easier to kill. Even if Blinky's holding something like a Quake or something, he could clear everything. Although the Quake doesn't really help Blinky as much, so there's a Languid on the Great Wolf. Another Illmire Hunter out, so all's well that's in well, I guess you could say. if I could get that phrase right. So Blinky sacking for cards, gets a second Ancestral Totem, which could be fantastic. Another Kinfolk Brave as well. He does have the cards to play all of this, if he elects to. But there's a Sister to protect the veteran. Frost Gale as well, as you can hear my dog hammering into the floor for some reason. But there we go. Blinky just moving around the board, trying to avoid this wall of attack as best he can. Sorry about the snapping there. Apparently this is real life. Not playing the Ancestral Totem right now, though, because I guess he's saving it for a bigger attack. Sometimes you want to drop those down on the turn when you're attacking, just as the element of surprise, to bait your opponent to move into a bad place. But Blinky's going to be able to take out 2 rats at least and draw another card, and there's a Witch Doctor as well. So Blightbearer is going to be taking out more, at least 1 sister. It'd be nice to have those Harvesters on the board, but that is not the case. Now, this is going to be an interesting decision for Blinky here because he's playing the second totem. And there's the Crimson Bull as well. Can he end the game on this turn? He doesn't have a rally. He doesn't have a Mangy Wolf. But he can do a crap ton of damage if he is so inclined to do so. And taking out this Elmire Hunter may make a husk and may buff this guy. But at least on the bright side, it's not going to be taking out the defenseless Great Wolf next turn. Other interesting note is that if he uses the Kinfolk Veteran to take out this Blightbearer, that's going to be poison everywhere for him, and he's going to die pretty soon. So let's see how Blinky decides to play. I'm getting my player names confused. He's going for the middle idol first. He's going to take the beefier unit, the veteran, and leave him there. So big buff. There's the husk as well. Not too much you can do about that now. It's just a matter of having multiple of these guys alive. They attack every turn, and they're 4-2 now. That is scary, scary stuff. What does Sleeper have to maybe drop in front of it? Is it going to be Oblivion Seeker? Yes, that was a good guess, but he's dropping it towards the bottom, which is interesting, as he gets a Viscera Sage as well. Now that Sage is important because it can do 2 damage when it... Or that's the wrong card. Of course I'm thinking the wrong card. The Viscera Sage can be good for more card draw, and if Blinky can't do anything about this Sage here, one of these guys is going to die. In fact, he may have to move his board accordingly anyway. And there we go. Starting to think about clearing up things. Fertile Soiling, the poisoned creature, gets a Crimson Bull, which is perfect for this situation. He can actually clear not all, but most of the top of the board. If he plays the wolf here as well and moves everybody up, he can clear this whole row if he elects to do so. But he's going to let the Witch Doctor live. It looks like Blinky's holding on to the double god hand Crimson Bull, but he's going to have to stack his resources up to it. So quick Soul Steal takes away one of the very valuable Kinfolk Braves there. And a Blightbearer as well is going to be pinning down the Great Wolf possibly, except it dies, so who cares about that? Great Wolf is dead. So Blinky may be having an opportunity, unless I miscounted the amount of resources he had, to kill these creatures and not doing so. But right now Blinky's going to allow Sleeper to get some cards here because he really doesn't want his totems to die. So kind of a tough spot to be in, but Blinky's still at an advantage in terms of idle health. But these 2 Ancestral Totems are now very vulnerable, as there's a second Soul Steal. Those Kinfolk Veterans very susceptible to that. The Harvester getting 1 cooldown reduction for that. Languid as well, very interesting move. So Blinky just leaving his Brother of the Wolf exposed. Well, wait, we're on the wrong turn here. Blinky moving his Brother of the Wolf down. That's more like it. As another Kinfolk Brave comes onto the board, and we get the Rat King once again. So now Blinky doing his best to protect these 2 Ancestral Totems while he can, trying to avoid using the Frost Gale as much as possible. Once again, if Sleeper Z has something like a Mire Curse, that could be really funny. But instead we get the Pother, and there goes the Brother of the Wolf, who unfortunately had a 66% chance of getting his face killed. As we get a Kinfolk Brave as well. Slowly but surely, this Harvester is creeping forward. Whew. But there's the transposition. And I guess the question now is, how is Blinky going to deal with this? There is another idol down, actually. Going to use his Kinfolk Brave to the last. So he's going to die from that, but he's going to take out a second idol as well. Sleeper Z, looking like maybe he has a good board, but not a great board. Blinky, however, unable to do something with a God Hand, and there is a Puppet Soldier. I don't see a nutrition from Sleeper Z. Maybe he has that for next turn, but the Puppet Soldier are going to be equally a deterrent to at least keep someone from physically attacking this row. So Blinky out in front at least for a little while. Can he keep it up? The Frost Scale doesn't do a ton of good here. The Pother is just to draw cards. He has another Ancestral Totem, but the question is going to become, what does he want to do? Who does he want to hurt a little bit? So he moves the Great Wolf up top, seeing that this bottom idol is at least locked down just a little bit. Because at this rate, he's going to have to move everything up and leave this totem exposed. It's going to die one way or the other. So Damning Curse on the Great Wolf. Oh, we got cooldowns, things dying. I'm all here, I promise. So the Damning Curse, the Ilmire Rod Eater together. Very happy combo. These two rats don't really have a lot going on for him, as Blinky has suddenly gone from a great position to not a strong position. Yes, he can attack the Oblivion Seeker, but it's just going to turn into a husk. So the Ilmire Witch Doctor is going to survive unless Blinky elects to Quake here. And a Quake could be good. It would just leave the Ilmire Rod Eater to survive. But is Quake going to be the play here is probably the better question. No, it's going to be a veteran at this point. So he is going to take out the Witch Doctor after all. So this time not allowing Sleeper to get extra cards. Blinky at least has the ability to move forward here. This Rod Eater not getting the benefit from the Witch Doctor dying. But a Witch Doctor coming behind this Oblivion Seeker, another Rod Eater as well. As Sleeper is trying to stack the board, and look at how many cards both of these players have. We're at round 18. They're going with some resources, but really drawing for cards at this point. As Blinky just moving his sister up top, Fertile Soil combo, just to try and get some cards, see what he can get going here. And can he actually take out this? No, not quite. But he can drop it to 1 health. Now, dropping something to 1 health is a pretty important thing, at least versus Decay, because that means if they use a Damning Curse, it will die. Or there is other ways to inflict self-damage here. But still, SleeperZ can prepare for that and move this to an area where it can live. The Beast Rat. Oh, you languided the Beast Rat. It is now a Toothless Rat, you could say. Second Witch Doctor for SleeperZ, as he's getting a lot of stuff on the board. Right now, he has a very scary complement of creatures, but Blinky drawing triple God Hands. If he can just get the right play to take out one of these idols, that's all he's got to do. Just get one. Right now, there's the Frost Gale to at least dump down a little more damage here. Second Beast Rat. It looks like Blinky could be trying to go for an additional God Hand, but he is spreading out his creatures once again. Once again, trying to avoid the Nutrition combo if he can. SleeperZ, on the other hand, having much more on the board in terms of unit value, but right now he's relying on his massive card advantages. Brain Lice is going to give him even more. Viscera Sage as well. Just 7, 8, 9 resources. So many creatures on the board. 6 cards still in his hand. And this isn't even really like a big draw deck or anything. So 7 cards. Blinky with the Double Quake, if he wants to give that a shot. He is going to God Hand these poor rats. And what is he going to do with them? Is he going to actually take out some creatures? He has some God Hands to spare at least, so all he has to do is maybe drop something down here if he can luck into a wolf or something. But at this point, Sleeper moving up. Is this Decay's time to start taking over the game? It's round 20. Blinky's hung around a long time, but all he's got is just a few rats, and there's a Harvester left on the board. Brain Lice as well. So my goodness, SleeperZ just going to be losing his entire board. I mean, what do you do at this point? You have plenty of creatures, you have some idols, you have some totems, you have all kinds of direct damage between the Quakes, between the Frost Scales, between all kinds of stuff. Whew. So Blinky could Quake into Frost Scale next turn, but not before he takes some serious idol damage here. So Loyal Darkling's going to be up and away. There's the Nutrition to go ahead and just do 2 idol damage. Puppet Soldier as well down here, just to drop it, just to try and protect this idol again. So Sleeper having the presence of mind to remember that this idol is still vulnerable as he's stacking all the creatures up there. Blinky, however, he has a Quake. He has 2 Frost Gales. He gets another Quake. He can totally screw up Sleeper's board if he wants to. There's the Quake. It kills everything except for the Harvester. There's just 1 Harvester left, and it cannot kill this idol by itself. What in the world am I looking at this point? So SleeperZ with 1 Harvester, the true Harvester, the 1 health Harvester. There's just not enough raw skill out there. As a second Harvester comes into play, there's an Oblivion Seeker as well. So after all of that quaking, it still comes down to the follow-up. Both players down 2 idols. Blinky very vulnerable here. He's got to protect 2 very low health idols at this point. A Rat King is one way to do it. He can spread out his units just a little bit. Elects to play the Ancestral Totem as well. And right now just trying to get his creatures up on the board. Does not have too much in the way of beefy units to try and protect here, and he does have another God Hand. He could gun for an additional idol here if SleeperZ cannot end the game right here. Blinky may be able to end it next turn if SleeperZ leaves an idol there, but there's the GG from SleeperZ, and he gets a Loyal Darkling out, and what's going to be? Nutrition on the Loyal Darkling, last idol damage. You can't block that with a totem. So there's the game. Blinky dropping 1 to SleeperZ, who gains quite a bit of rating here. So we see a good effective deck between Decay with an Order and Growth Splash, at least for nutrition. And Blinky, on the other hand, valiantly holding his own, pushing and pushing and pushing for idols, but not quite being able to get it at the very end. So this is Way to Fail with another Scrolls Ranked replay, and now we're seeing Decay in ranks. So the cycle shall continue as the nerf bats and nerf cries for nerf and other editorial comments will come as people say, oh my god, it's too strong or it's too weak, or where's energy? And now we're starting to say, where's order? I don't see it nearly as much in the ratings, but the metagame is changing and it will settle at some point. But for now, at least we get an entertaining game here today. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you all next time.